Hey all, welcome back to Age 40 Years. My name is Greg. Today we've got a banger for you. This is a biggest blind that I've done so far. Excited to get into this one and excited to figure out what do I think is the best double oaked bourbon. Now, where this come from is I have always bought Woodford Reserve Double Oak. I've really enjoyed that bourbon. It's one of my favorites. In my opinion, it's the original like finished double oak product. And over time, because I like that one, I've bought other double oaks. And so I've got 6 different ones in here. They're in the photo. 5 of them bourbons, one of them's a rye. I think this is going to be really interesting to figure out, do I have preferences visually that when you take the visualization away, I've got all the bottles over here so I can pull them out rather than having to walk over there like past blinds. But I know what's in them, or I know what ones are in the blind. I just don't know which one's in which glass. So my wife has graciously poured them all for me. I don't have 6 clips. I don't have even 6 Glencairns, so I have a special glass here. So the way it's going to go is A, B, C, D, Columbia Bourbon Society. Whoop, gotta be careful here. And then this one is a glass I got from my friend Phil, who coincidentally is him and his dad are some of the biggest fans I've ever met of Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Now, I did recently buy also a double barrel, and I think that is a double oak, but I don't know. So maybe what I'll do is, I've tried it, I really like it, but maybe what I'll do is take that one and put it up against the ones that finished first and second and blind those and just kind of see how it stacks up once we get our rankings here. But yeah, we got 6 bourbons here. 5 bourbons, 5 whiskeys to drink, 6 whiskeys, 5 bourbons, 1 rye. It's gonna be a wild ride. I got some notes over here and I got some water over here. I got all the bottles over there. Let's figure out which one is the double oak favorite in the household of age 40 years. So let's start with A. We'll start with the nose. Nose is nice. It's really nice. Definitely a little oakiness. But, sometimes in a double oak you get a real vanilla-y flavor. I don't really get that here. No, the palate's more oaky. Okay, more oaky. Honestly, tastes a little younger, but a nice little char flavor to it. It's really nice. Now I'm getting like that kind of toasted maple, a little bit of charred maple on the back end. Finish is really good, almost like a toasted butterscotch, charred maple, something like that. I'm not quite formulating what exactly it is. Okay, that's it's always tough being A because you're right out of the gate setting a ranking, and now everybody else has to live up to that one. Now we compare it to the A. If I like B better than A, then it's C better than B, and then eventually you got to come back and kind of bring some of those guys back in. This gnat's annoying. Okay, a little bit of water here. My wife picked all these. Well, I take that back. I picked all the bottles that were going to be in this. She poured them, so I have no idea. She likes to pour some healthy pours. And that's the other thing I didn't really look at is the color. However, I will say, when you look at these across the lineup, there is not much variation in color there. So A, good start. Let's see. B. Okay, B is a lot more vanilla-y on the palate or on the nose. I mean, come on. Now, I will say, that is sweet as all get out. That is a beautiful toasted marshmallow with some vanilla. A little bit of like a tannin flavor in there though, that kind of a little off-putting. Not really sure what that flavor is, but it's just a little bit of bitterness in there. And hey, if you don't notice, I'm now standing up for these, so it's pretty cool. A little tanniny flavor, finish. I don't think that one's a very high proof. That one's a lower proof. The first one, A, is probably, let's see. Should we guess proof? Let's see if we can get those right. I'll guess 102 for the first one, and I'm gonna guess 94 for B. That's pretty light. Which there's not that much difference between a 92 and a 10. A 94 and a 102. But there is some sort of weird kind of tanniny flavor in this, but the vanilla on it is insane. My neighbor's currently mowing the grass. You can probably see me through the windows. Probably, what the heck is that guy doing? Yeah, second taste, that tanniny flavor is a little bit strong. So, the vanilla is really good though. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's weird. It's okay. I don't really know what to make of B. We're gonna have to come back to that one. That's a close race so far. All right. I've got this cool digital notepad that I use for work that I'm using here. It's nice. Just erase everything when I'm done. Okay, C, nose. All right, this is a little bit better balance of vanilla. Oh, I shouldn't say better. It's not as pungent in the vanilla. But what I will say is it's just a real nice, yeah, just a really nice nose. I get some caramel in here. I mean, a real caramely flavor or nose to this. That one's really good. I think this one's okay. Man, maybe best nose. But that does not follow through to the palate. That tastes like sweaty rickhouse. Just, I don't think that I think maybe it's younger. The nose is so good. How's that nose so good? The finish is good. I'm gonna guess this one's probably a 105. But it's just that palate. Let me get that again. Yeah, I think it's just young, almost like a moonshiny flavor to it. I'm not sure. The nose is exceptional. Can the nose outweigh the palate, though, is the question. I don't know. That's an interesting pour right there, because it really evolves. The finish is spicy, a little hot. The nose is fantastic. The palate's just kind of, I don't know where we're going with that palate. Okay, interesting. Let's keep moving on to, that was C, so D. Whew. 6-way blind. Whose idea was this? I tried to make it a 7, but I couldn't find a glass to use to get that that double barrel in here. But we'll put it up against the winners. Okay, this nose is like toffee. Like a sweet donut smell to it. It's really interesting to me when you put them all like this. Sometimes I feel like it's harder to pick out the profiles for me when you're just tasting one. However, when you go one right after the other of different bourbons, you really understand and can pick out the differences in these. So this one's like real donut-y, confection-y. Not as vanilla-y as like B was. but it just kind of smells like you're sitting in a donut shop that's making fresh donuts. It's strange. Let's see what the palate looks like. Okay. Now, that one to me seems maybe a little higher proof. I'm gonna put that at a 112. Might be wrong. That might be the rye. I know there's a rye in here. Could be the rye. But it is a little spicier, but it still carries a nice, spicier, nice confection flavor through the palate. A little drier, but overall really tasty. So it like balances, which maybe is what you want in a double oak. You balance the sweetness that with a little bit of spice. That's a nice way of going about it. And I don't know, that very well could be a Woodford. No idea, but the approach that one brings sweetness up front, and I'm gonna finish with a little punch is nice. Now, I did a review recently of the Jack Daniel's Heritage release. I can't remember the name of it exactly, the blue label one, the new one. And what I found is that one does a good job of not changing the profile. It's stuck to sweet the whole way. And I think, I believe I made a comment in there that I liked that because what they were doing, they committed to. But I think for them to transition from that sweetness to some sort of spicy, given the sweetness that was there, this isn't like an overly sweet one. I thought that was a nice progression. Here, they do a really nice job of making that shift from, hey, I'm sweet, you're at a donut shop, getting ready to order. And then, yeah, that toffee, like a toffee into spicy. God, that's good. I think that palate is fantastic. Now I'm backing up a little on the proof point. I said 112. I think that's probably high. I think you're probably a 101. Okay. All right. We are through 4 of them. I'll do a time check, but I can't see what the camera says, so. For those of you that have been watching me, A, first off, thank you. B, I'll show you the setup someday. It's so janky. We're not on the level of any other YouTube channel by any means. It's pretty funny. Just in my office, cars driving by, probably see the reflection in the window of the ring light I'm using my phone. Hopefully the battery lasts, but it's an interesting setup I have here. Thought about using a GoPro, but until I don't want this to be an expense other than the bourbon, because I like buying bourbon and finding bourbon, but I don't really want it to be I'm gonna go buy an expensive camera and stuff when I'm just for whatever. I want the content to justify eventually people wanting to spend money or ads to help fund just making the content better. That's all I care about. I'm not trying to make money off of this thing. I would love to get to the point where I can do my own barrel pick. That would be so cool, but we're a long ways away from that. So, all right, let's go on to the Columbia Bourbon Society glass. See what we got here. Well, this one's strange. This one smells like a Home Depot lumber aisle, so that's weird. Whatever they did on the finish here, it's like they finished it in 2x4s, which I don't think they probably did, but it's a strange nose. And for the record, I've had all these. You're gonna see all these bottles are anywhere from a quarter left, maybe even less, to 3/4. So it's not like any of these are freshly opened, never had them, but I mean, that is a Home Depot lumber aisle. Weird. It's like sawdust and 2x4s. Whatever. Let's try it. Let's see what it tastes like. Now, you could tell me that There is no way that you could convince me if you gave me that and I didn't know it was double oaked, that was double oaked. There's no way. There's a little bit of sweetness on the finish, just a little bit of vanilla trying to fight its way through. But that is just, I don't know, it's a little thin. There is some sweetness in there, but it's just thin. I think that's got to be the lowest proof point, right? I mean, I'm going to put that one at a 90. I don't know that there are any 90s in here. I don't know what all those are. But that just tastes like that's a 90 proof. I want to go back for that again with after some water, because, I mean, color's great, but that just is, this glass looks dirty. Or it looks a little, must be splashback. Anyway, color is good, which would signify that, you know, it had, okay. Second, yeah, I just think it's a low proof. I think it's a low proof. It's fighting for that sweetness. It really is fighting for that sweetness. It doesn't taste like the lumber isle when you taste it, though. I mean, that's not what you get on the palate. The finish is like non-existent. I don't know what's going on there on that finish. I don't know that there is one. But that's, I mean, it's not in the blind, but that's like a Basil Hayden double oak. If they made a double oak, that's what I imagine it would taste like. That's weird. I don't know which one. I have no idea which one that could possibly be. Okay, now on to the last one. That's weird. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm starting to think that like my wife just grabbed a random bottle. That is not like anything I've ever tried. I'm really curious what that one is. All right, last one. This is the Phil glasses. You know, I was gifted this from my best friend Phil, who's best man at my wedding. His dad unfortunately passed away, and this was in his collection of glasses, and honored to have it and share it with y'all. Me and a couple friends all have some, and it's just really special to me. And let's see if it has good whiskey in it, though. You know. Okay. Tastes like or smells like nail polish, so that's not a good start. But if you give it a minute, well, I was gonna taste it, but if you give it a minute, it still smells like nail polish. What is this? Which one is this? It's just kind of flat, you know. It's just a little ethanol-y, just kind of flat. Let's see what we taste. Oaky. That's oaky, a rich oaky. Yeah, a rich oaky flavor. Not very complex, honestly. It does have a little bit of a butterscotch undertone to it, which is nice. I like that. You know, as you kind of chew on it, it's a mouth coating one, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, real oaky. Some of those baking spices. I don't know. That one I feel like has to be in a higher char barrel. Because it's just more, it's a little bit more rough. You know, it's like, it kind of reminds me of, you ever have Smoke Wagon? Smoke Wagon is a little bit rough, which is good. Or like Texas whiskey. Texas whiskey is a little rough. Just that, like, man, I grew up in a place that's really hot. So, I mean, I'm not going to try and predict where stuff comes from, but that just, like, man, I really got into that wood when it was cold, and then, yes, I really got into that wood when it was hot, and then when it was cold, it really pushed me back out, and just that cycle was much more prominent. So, anyway, I think that you know, probably a good entrant, but is it the winner? I don't know. All right, 6 of them. I think I have my ranking. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look. I can't confirm the winner yet, but let's go revisit a couple here. So I want to revisit this one, and I want to revisit that one. So C. Okay. Great nose. Man, that nose is so good. What happens from the nose to the whiskey? What happens? That's crazy. A lot happens. A lot happens. Okay. I'm going to try number 6 again. This is the fill glass. Okay. All right. I've got my first out. My first out is, well, here. We'll go ahead and do the rankings. We'll do it this way. We're going to do them and put the bottles out here. I'm not going to move these glasses. I was a little undecided on how I want to do that. But I am going to go ahead and bring the bottles out. So, all right, what we're going to do is I'm going to bring them out, and I'm going to go lowest over here to number 1 over here. Okay, so this is the order we're going to do them in. So first one's going to be here. My last place is this glass. It is the fill glass. Excuse me. It's a little too young. I think, Theo, it had oh, I didn't predict the proof on that one. I do think it's a little bit higher proof, maybe like a 110. I don't think it had some butterscotch undertones, but I just don't really think it was the big winner. So, oh, that is so disappointing. Okay, well, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started with the disappointment. So the first one is going to be Conviction Double Oak. And this is a distillery out of North Carolina. I specifically asked my liquor store, Clyde Spirits, to bring this in. The owner, or probably not owner, but one of the reps for the actual distillery drove it down the next day. Really did really well on an SLB thing recently, but hey, for me, number 6. All right, moving right along. C. So I'm gonna take them out as I do them. So C is gonna be 5th place. C is Jimmy Red. Now Jimmy Red is by Highwire Distilling. That is a distillery in Charleston, South Carolina. I've met Alexander, who's the master distiller. He signed one of my bottles. I've had their bottles in some of my other videos. They do good stuff, guys. Like, they do good stuff. The double oaked, I think I've tried it, and I'm not surprised on where it finished. At 5th, I'm not surprised. But I will say that they are experimenting and being creative and making their own product. It's the red corn that I think, to me, in some products, it's really good. In other products, it's a little off-putting. So I'm not necessarily surprised where it landed. But I had that one as 2nd. And I had that, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't go through the proofs. So the last, for the Conviction, I had it at 110. 107.4. 107.4. So not far off. Pretty close. For the Jimmy Red, I had this one at 105, and this is 107. 107. Pretty good. Doing all right. I wouldn't say guessing proofs is my strong suit. So that was C. So we'll move C out of here. All right. Next. Man, it gets really tight here. So now we have D, B, A, and Cola. Let me try. Cola. Okay, I have that one as a 90 proof. Home Depot lumber aisle on the nose. Still smells like that. That's so wild. I can't wait to figure out what that is. And then I wanted to also give a shout out to, well, you know, that is going to be my fourth place. So we're going to go with D is going to, or nope, sorry, Cola is the Sagamore. Sagamore Rye. Okay. Well, I honestly thought that there was a chance that this one won based on the direction things were going. I thought this was maybe the one I picked in first place, but Lumber Isle, Sagamore's doing great stuff. That's a great bourbon. I had that one as a 90 proof 3.0 ranking. This is a 96 proof. So, hey, they mellowed out the proof a little bit. That's good. So we're down to 3. Let's go ahead and I'm down to A, I'm down to B, and I'm down to D. Now, I think I have my winner, but let's go ahead and give them each a quick flavor. Let's go in reverse order. We'll do some D. Okay. Yep. Got D. Definitely oaky. Let's go B. This one I had sweet, but a little bit of a tanniny on the back. Yep, that one's a vanilla. Really strong vanilla up front, but tanniny on the back. Aftertaste, a little interesting. And then pour A, like I said at the beginning. Pour A starts at the beginning and has to fight its way back. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, I'm good. I got it. All right. Even going in reverse order, it lines up. So A, my next out, and barely, by a hair, is going to be A. I mean, by a hair compared to the next one. So A is going to be Nulu, which is, no pun intended, pretty new to me. Nulu, really interesting stuff that they're doing. I've had a couple other things. It's this is an MGP product that they're finishing, but hey, I'm not against that. And this is a wheated product. So we had a rye, and now we have a wheated product in here. So let's say Nulu, not necessarily surprised. In second place, the super sweet. Oh, also this one. I said, I'm sorry, this was D. No, this was A. I said 102 proof. 116. And that is the wheat shining through. That's the wheat just being like, screw you. I'm going to hide this proof because I'm going to be smooth as all get out. So good job, wheated. And then second place, B. Move B over here. B is our Woodford Double Oaked. Store pick locally. A great bottle. Hopefully y'all can see these all right. I'm gonna move them a little bit just because stuff's moved around. This is the OG. Like I said at the beginning, it's the OG. But this one's also pretty cool. It's got a double DQ sticker on it. The Whispers of the Woods for the Zelda fans out there. It's a good store pick that I got here locally from the bottle shop in Red Bank in Lexington, South Carolina. Which means that our winner, which honestly surprises the absolute heck out of me, is Pursuit United's Double Oak Bourbon. And these guys, I mean, come on. They're doing some awesome stuff. I love their podcast. Pursuit United is, I can't believe that they won this Double Oak blind. It's pretty awesome. Great group of guys. They get Fred Minnick on their show a lot. You know, they are knowledgeable about whiskey. They're quick about whiskey. They give some awesome reviews. But guys, look at this. What a lineup. I mean, we've got Pursuit United, which I can't get in South Carolina. I got this outside of the state. We got Woodford Double Oak. We got Nulu, which is out of Memphis? Is that right? No. Nulu is... Who am I thinking of? That's out of Memphis. This says out of Louisville, so... we got Sagamore out of Maryland. We got Highwire out of South Carolina. And we got Conviction out of North Carolina. Guys, we got a hell of a lineup here. Shout out to Pursuit. These guys are doing an awesome job. And that is your winner. So with that, I just want to remind you to please drink responsibly. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, please subscribe, and also, cheers.